Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and fellow believers, today we gather not just to share words, but to ignite a flame of inspiration that burns deep within our souls. I want to take you on a journey through the life and stories of a man who has touched countless lives, Dr. Myles Munroe. His stories are not mere tales, they are life lessons, divine revelations that shape our understanding of purpose, destiny, and the kingdom of God. One story that continues to resonate with me is the story of the lion and the sheep. A story about a young lion who was raised among sheep. This lion grew up thinking it was a sheep, behaving like a sheep, and fearing like a sheep. But one day the lion heard the roar of another lion, a sound so powerful, so commanding, that it awakened something deep within him. In that moment, the lion realized who he truly was. He was not a sheep, but a king of the jungle, a leader by design. This story is not just about a lion, it's about you and me. How many of us have lived our lives thinking we are less than what God has created us to be? How many of us have been conditioned by our surroundings, by our upbringing, to think small, to act small, to dream small? But then there comes a moment, if we are willing to listen, when the voice of God, the roar of the Lion of Judah, calls us to remember who we truly are. We are not sheep, we are lions. We are not victims, we are victors. We are not bound by the limitations of this world. We are empowered by the limitless potential of the kingdom of God. Another story that has profoundly impacted me is the story of the tree and the seed. This story challenges us to see beyond the surface, to recognize the potential within ourselves and others. Too often we focus on what is visible, what is tangible, and we miss the greatness that lies within. God has placed within each of us the seed of greatness, the potential to impact nations, to change lives, to transform the world. But it requires faith, it requires vision, and it requires action. These stories remind us of who we are, of the potential we carry, and of the purpose for which we were created. They challenge us to rise above mediocrity, to reject the lies of the enemy, and to walk boldly in the calling God has placed upon our lives. So today I urge you to embrace these stories. Let them inspire you, let them challenge you, let them propel you into your destiny. Remember, you are not a sheep, you are a lion. You are not just a seed, you are a forest waiting to be unleashed. And as you walk in this truth, may you inspire others to do the same. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to share with you the story of a man whose life exemplifies the power of purpose and the tenacity of persistence. This is the story of Thomas Edison, one of the greatest inventors in history. But I don't want you to focus merely on the inventions that made him famous. Instead, I want you to focus on the mindset, the determination, and the unshakable belief that drove him to succeed against all odds. Thomas Edison is often remembered for inventing the light bulb, a device that revolutionized the world. But what many people overlook is the journey that led to that moment of brilliance. You see, Edison didn't succeed on his first try, or his second, or even his 100th. In fact, it is said that Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before he finally perfected the light bulb. Now think about that for a moment. Over 1,000 failures. How many of us would have given up after the first, second, or even the 10th attempt? But Edison didn't see those 1,000 attempts as failures. When asked about it, he famously replied, "I have not failed 1,000 times. I have successfully discovered 1,000 ways that will not work." You see, Edison understood something that many of us need to grasp. Failure is not the end, it is merely a stepping stone on the path to success. Every time he encountered a setback, he learned something new. Every obstacle became an opportunity for growth. The greatest tragedy in life is not death, but a life without purpose. Edison's story is a powerful example of a man who lived with purpose. He knew that he was called to bring light to the world, literally and figuratively. He was not deterred by the challenges he faced because his purpose was greater than his pain. He was driven by a vision of a brighter future, and he refused to let anything or anyone stand in his way. Edison's story teaches us a profound lesson about the nature of purpose. Purpose gives you a reason to wake up in the morning. It gives you the strength to endure hardship, the courage to face opposition, and the resilience to keep going even when the odds are stacked against you. Purpose is what keeps you grounded when the storms of life try to knock you down. But purpose alone is not enough. Purpose must be coupled with persistence. Persistence is the fuel that keeps the fire of purpose burning. It is the willingness to try again and again and again, no matter how many times you fall. It is the refusal to accept defeat, the determination to keep pressing forward until you achieve what you were created to do. Edison's story is also a reminder that greatness is not reserved for a select few. It is available to all who are willing to pursue their purpose with passion and persistence. You don't have to be born with extraordinary talents or gifts. You just need to have a vision, a purpose, and the determination to see it through. The wealthiest place on earth is not the gold mines of South America or the oil fields of the Middle East, but the graveyard. Why? Because it is filled with untapped potential, unfulfilled dreams, and unused ideas. Edison's story challenges us to not let our potential go to the grave. We must be like Edison, willing to take risks, to fail, to learn, and to persist until our purpose is fulfilled. So I ask you today, what is the light bulb that God has placed within you? What is the purpose that burns in your heart? And are you willing to persist until that purpose is fulfilled, no matter how many times you fail along the way? Thomas Edison's life is a testimony to the power of purpose and persistence. Let his story inspire you to keep pressing forward, to embrace failure as a part of the process, and to never, ever give up on the dream that God has placed within you. Today, I want to speak to you about a man whose life embodies the essence of true leadership, forgiveness, and vision. A man who became a symbol of hope, justice, and reconciliation, not just for his nation, but for the world. That man is Nelson Mandela. When we hear the name Nelson Mandela, we often think of a man who stood tall against the forces of oppression, a man who spent 27 long years in prison for the cause of freedom, and a man who emerged from the darkness of his cell to lead a nation toward the light of unity and peace. But I want you to see beyond the iconic figure and delve into the principles that guided his life, principles that resonate deeply with the teachings of the kingdom of God. Nelson Mandela was born in a time of great division and racial injustice in South Africa. The system of apartheid, which sought to dehumanize and segregate people based on the color of their skin, was deeply entrenched in the society. Many would have seen such a system and felt powerless, resigned to live under its oppression. But Mandela was different. He had a vision of a South Africa where all people, regardless of race, could live together in harmony and equality. The leadership is not about power, but about vision. True leaders do not seek to dominate others. They seek to empower others by casting a vision that is greater than themselves. Mandela embodied this principle. He was not driven by a desire for revenge or retribution, but by a vision of a united South Africa. He knew that the only way to heal his nation was not through violence, but through reconciliation. And that brings us to another powerful lesson from Mandela's life, the power of forgiveness. After 27 years of imprisonment, minus 27 years of being separated from his family, of enduring harsh conditions, of being treated as less than human, Mandela emerged not with bitterness, but with forgiveness. He understood that true freedom could only come through the liberation of both the oppressed and the oppressor. He famously said, "As I walked out the door toward the gate that would lead to my freedom, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I'd still be in prison." Forgiveness is not a weakness, but a strength. It is the key that unlocks the prison of bitterness and sets both the forgiver and the forgiven free. Mandela's forgiveness was not just a personal act, it was a powerful statement that paved the way for national healing. He understood that the future of South Africa depended on the ability of its people to forgive, to reconcile, and to move forward together. Mandela's life also teaches us about the cost of leadership. True leaders are willing to sacrifice for the greater good. Leadership is not about titles or positions, it is about service and sacrifice. Mandela's 27 years in prison were a testament to his willingness to endure suffering for the sake of his vision. He knew that the road to freedom would not be easy, but he was willing to pay the price. And when he finally emerged from prison, he didn't seek to hold on to power. Instead, he sought to empower others. He became the first black president of South Africa, but more importantly, he became a servant to his people. He led with humility, with grace, and with a deep commitment to justice and equality. His leadership was not about him, it was about the vision he carried for his nation. Mandela's vision was not just about ending apartheid, it was about creating a South Africa where all people could live with dignity and respect. It was a vision that transcended his personal experiences and pain, a vision that was rooted in the belief that every human being is created in the image of God and deserves to be treated with honor and respect. So what can we learn from the story of Nelson Mandela? We learn that true leadership is about serving others, not yourself. We learn that forgiveness is the path to true freedom and reconciliation. We learn that a vision rooted in justice, equality, and love can transform not only a nation but the world. As we reflect on Mandela's life, let us be inspired to lead with vision, to forgive with grace, and to serve with humility. Let us remember that our own lives can be a powerful testimony to the principles of the kingdom of God. Just as Mandela's life became a beacon of hope for millions, so too can our lives be a light in the darkness, guiding others toward the truth and love of God. I want to take you back to one of the most powerful and well-known stories in the Bible, a story that has transcended time and culture, a story that continues to inspire and challenge us today. It is the story of a young shepherd boy named David and a giant named Goliath. But I don't want you to simply hear this story as an ancient tale. I want you to see it as a living testament to the power of identity, faith, and kingdom authority. The story begins with a standoff between two armies, the Israelites on one side and the Philistines on the other. Every day for 40 days, a giant named Goliath would come forward, taunting the Israelites, challenging them to send out a champion to fight him. Goliath was massive, a warrior from his youth, armed to the teeth and covered in armor that glistened in the sun. His very presence struck fear into the hearts of the Israelites. They were paralyzed not by the size of the giant, but by their perception of their own inadequacy. But then came David, a young shepherd boy, not a soldier, not a warrior, just a boy who had been sent to deliver food to his brothers on the battlefield. When David heard Goliath's taunt, something rose up within him. He couldn't understand why the entire army of Israel was cowering before this giant. You see, David had something that the rest of the army lacked. He knew who he was, and more importantly, he knew who his God was. David knew he wasn't just an ordinary shepherd boy. He was a child of the Most High God, a citizen of the kingdom, and anointed for greatness. When David looked at Goliath, he didn't see an insurmountable obstacle. He saw an opportunity for God to demonstrate his power. He saw a giant, not as a threat, but as something that was already defeated in the spiritual realm. When King Saul heard about David's boldness, he tried to equip David with his own armor, his own weapons, but David refused. He knew that his strength didn't lie in the weapons of this world, but in the power of God. We try to fight our battles using the world's methods, using tools that are not designed for us. But David understood that his victory would come not from a sword or spear, but from his faith in God. And so with nothing but a sling and 5 smooth stones, David approached Goliath. Imagine the scene, a young boy walking toward a giant who had terrified an entire army. Goliath mocked him, insulted him, and laughed at the sight of this small figure daring to challenge him. But David was not intimidated. He was not moved by the size of the giant or the insults hurled at him. He was anchored in his identity and his faith. David spoke words of power and authority. You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. Those words were not just a declaration, they were a proclamation of kingdom authority. Dr. Munroe often taught that when you speak with the authority of the kingdom, you are not speaking on your own behalf, you are speaking as an ambassador of the King of Kings. David understood this. He knew that Goliath wasn't just defying Israel, he was defying the God of Israel, and that was a battle Goliath could never win. With a single stone, David struck Goliath on the forehead, and the giant fell face down to the ground. The battle was over before it even began. But here's the key. David's victory didn't come because of his skill with a sling. It came because of his faith in God's power, his understanding of his identity, and his confidence in the authority of the kingdom. So what does this story teach us today? First, it teaches us the power of knowing who we are in Christ. When you know your identity as a child of God, as a citizen of his kingdom, no giant, no obstacle, no enemy can intimidate you. You are not defined by your circumstances, you are defined by your Creator. Second, it teaches us the importance of faith. Faith is not just believing that God can do something, it is acting on that belief. David didn't just say he believed God would deliver him, he walked onto that battlefield and faced Goliath head on. Faith requires action. Faith is what bridges the gap between the promises of God and their fulfillment in our lives. And finally, it teaches us about the authority we have as kingdom citizens. When you speak in the name of the Lord, you are speaking with the authority of heaven. Goliath wasn't just defeated by a stone, he was defeated by the authority of God's word spoken through David. Like David, we must face our giants with confidence, knowing that the battle is not ours, but the Lord's. So today I challenge you, what are the giants in your life? What are the obstacles that seem too big, too overwhelming? Remember, you are a child of God, equipped with the power of the Holy Spirit and backed by the authority of the kingdom. Face your giants with the confidence of David, knowing that with God on your side, victory is already assured. I want to share with you the story of a man whose life and legacy continue to inspire generations, a man who demonstrated what it means to lead with vision, resilience, and unwavering commitment to a higher purpose. This is the story of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, a man whose leadership guided a nation through one of its darkest and most divisive periods. When we think of Abraham Lincoln, we often think of his role in preserving the Union during the American Civil War and his efforts to abolish slavery. But to truly understand the depth of Lincoln's greatness, we must look beyond these historical events and examine the principles that guided his life, principles that align with the values of the kingdom of God. I taught that leadership is not about titles or positions, but about vision and influence. True leaders are those who see beyond the present circumstances, who are able to envision a future that others cannot yet see, and who are willing to sacrifice for the greater good. Abraham Lincoln was such a leader. He was not born into wealth or privilege. He faced numerous challenges throughout his life. But it was his vision for a united and just nation that set him apart. Lincoln's journey to the presidency was not an easy one. He faced multiple failures in business, suffered personal tragedies, and lost several elections. In fact, he failed in business at the age of 21, was defeated in a legislative race at 22, failed again in business at 24, lost his sweetheart at 26, had a nervous breakdown at 27, lost a congressional race at 34, lost a Senate race at 45, and was defeated for the vice presidency at 40. Most people would have given up long before reaching that point. But not Lincoln. He possessed a resilience that is rare and precious, a resilience rooted in his deep conviction that he had a purpose to fulfill. Lincoln understood his purpose. Despite his many setbacks, he remained focused on his vision, a vision of a nation where all men are created equal, a nation that would one day rise above its divisions and become a beacon of freedom and justice for the world. Lincoln's resilience was not just a matter of personal determination, it was anchored in a deep sense of destiny. He believed that his life was part of a larger plan, that he had been called to lead the nation during a time of unprecedented crisis. And because of this belief, he was able to endure hardships, criticism, and personal loss without losing sight of his vision. This brings us to a powerful lesson from Lincoln's life, the importance of vision in leadership. The vision is the source of discipline, the guiding force that directs our decisions and actions. Lincoln's vision was not just a political agenda, it was a moral compass that guided him through the tumultuous years of the Civil War. He knew that the future of the nation depended on preserving the Union and ending the scourge of slavery, and he was willing to do whatever it took to achieve that vision. One of the most significant moments in Lincoln's presidency was his issuance of the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, which declared the freedom of all slaves in the Confederate States. This was not an easy decision. Lincoln faced intense opposition from many quarters, including members of his own cabinet and the general public. But he knew that the time had come to take a bold stand for justice. True leaders are willing to make difficult decisions, even when they are unpopular, because they are driven by a higher calling. Lincoln's decision to issue the Emancipation Proclamation was not just a political act, it was a declaration of kingdom values. It was a proclamation of the inherent dignity and worth of every human being, a recognition that all people are created in the image of God and are entitled to freedom and equality. In this sense, Lincoln's leadership reflected the heart of the kingdom of God, a kingdom where justice, mercy, and love reign supreme. But Lincoln's vision was not limited to the abolition of slavery. He also had a vision for the reconciliation and healing of the nation. After the Civil War ended, he famously said, "With malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right as God gives us to see the right, let us strive on to finish the work we are in, to bind up the nation's wounds." This statement reflects a deep understanding of the kingdom principle of reconciliation. Reconciliation is at the heart of the gospel. that we are called to be ambassadors of reconciliation in a broken world. Lincoln understood that the wounds of the Civil War would not heal overnight, that the process of rebuilding the nation would require patience, humility, and grace. He was committed to leading the nation through that process, even though he knew it would be difficult. His vision was not just for victory in war, but for peace and unity in the aftermath. He believed in the power of forgiveness, in the necessity of extending grace to those who had been enemies, and in the importance of rebuilding relationships. Tragically, Lincoln did not live to see the full realization of his vision. He was assassinated just days after the end of the Civil War, but his legacy lives on. His life and leadership continue to inspire us to this day, reminding us of the power of vision, resilience, and commitment to a higher purpose. So, what can we learn from the story of Abraham Lincoln? We learn that true leadership is grounded in a clear vision that is rooted in the values of the kingdom of God. We learn that resilience is essential for fulfilling our purpose, that we must be willing to endure hardships and setbacks in order to achieve the vision God has given us. And we learn that leadership is not about seeking power for its own sake, but about serving others and striving for justice, reconciliation, and peace. As we reflect on Lincoln's life, let us be inspired to lead with the same vision, resilience, and commitment to kingdom values. Let us remember that we too are called to be leaders in our own spheres of influence, to pursue the vision that God has placed in our hearts, and to serve others with humility and grace. Today, I want to take you on a journey of discovery, innovation, and the power of vision, a journey that begins with two brothers who dared to dream the impossible and ended with a breakthrough that changed the course of human history. I am speaking, of course, about the Wright brothers, Wilbur and Orville, whose names are forever etched in the annals of history as the pioneers of flight. But more than their technical achievements, it is the principles they live by that resonate deeply with the values of the kingdom of God. The story of the Wright brothers is not just a story of invention, it is a story of vision, perseverance, and the relentless pursuit of a dream that seemed beyond reach. It is a story that teaches us about the power of faith, the importance of innovation, and the necessity of persistence in the face of obstacles. The vision is the key to unlocking potential. Vision is not about what you see with your eyes, it is about what you see with your spirit. It is about perceiving a reality that does not yet exist and believing in it so strongly that you are willing to dedicate your life to making it happen. The Wright brothers had such a vision. They saw a world where man could soar through the skies, a world where the limits of human mobility would be shattered, and they were determined to bring that vision to life. Wilbur and Orville Wright were not born into privilege or wealth. They did not have advanced degrees or formal training in engineering. In fact, they were bicycle mechanics by trade, working out of a small shop in Dayton, Ohio. But they possessed something far more valuable than resources or education. They had a vision and an unyielding belief in that vision. The vision is the source of discipline, and discipline is the path to success. The Wright brothers understood this principle well. Their vision of powered flight became the driving force behind their every action, their every decision, and their every sacrifice. But having a vision is just the beginning. The Wright brothers faced numerous challenges, failures, and setbacks along the way. Many people ridiculed them, saying that their dream of flying was nothing more than a foolish fantasy. Even so-called experts in the field of aviation dismissed their ideas as impossible. But the Wright brothers were not deterred. They knew that every great achievement begins with a dream that others cannot see, and they were willing to endure the hardships, the failures, and the criticism in order to bring their dream to fruition. True leaders are those who do not give up when the going gets tough, but who press on, knowing that the fulfillment of their vision is worth the struggle. The Wright brothers exemplified this principle. They spent years experimenting, building, testing, and refining their designs. They faced crash after crash, failure after failure, but each setback only served to strengthen their resolve. They learned from their mistakes, adapted their approach, and continued to push forward. Their perseverance paid off on December 17, 1903, when they achieved what many thought was impossible. On that cold, windy morning in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, the Wright brothers made history with the first successful powered flight. Their aircraft, the Wright Flyer, flew for just 12 seconds and covered a distance of 120 feet, but it was a moment that would change the world forever. With that first flight, the Wright brothers proved that human beings could break free from the constraints of gravity and take to the skies. The Wright brothers' achievement was not just a triumph of human ingenuity, it was a manifestation of the creative potential that God has placed within each of us. We are made in the image of a creator God, and therefore we are endowed with the ability to create, to innovate, and to bring new ideas into existence. The Wright brothers tapped into this divine potential. They saw beyond what was and imagined what could be. They took the raw materials of the natural world and combined them in new ways to achieve something that had never been done before. Innovation is a kingdom principle. It is the ability to bring forth something new, to take what is available and transform it into something that adds value, that enhances life, and that reflects the creativity of our Creator. The Wright brothers understood this. They didn't just invent a machine, they opened the door to a new era of human achievement. Their innovation paved the way for the modern aviation industry, which has connected people, cultures, and nations in ways that were previously unimaginable. But there is another aspect to this story that we must not overlook: the importance of faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. The Wright brothers had faith in their vision. They believed that flight was possible, even when all the evidence seemed to suggest otherwise. Their faith was not blind, it was informed by their understanding of the laws of nature, by their careful observations, and by their tireless experimentation. But ultimately, it was their faith that propelled them forward, that kept them going when others gave up, and that enabled them to achieve what had never been done before. So what can we learn from the story of the Wright brothers? First, we learn the power of vision. When you have a vision that is aligned with the purpose God has placed within you, it will drive you, sustain you, and inspire you to overcome any obstacle. Vision is the key to unlocking the potential that lies within you. Second, we learn the importance of perseverance. The path to achieving your vision will not be easy. You will face setbacks, failures, and opposition. But if you remain committed to your vision, if you refuse to give up, you will eventually see it come to pass. Third, we learn about the principle of kingdom innovation. As children of the Creator, we are called to be creators ourselves. We are called to innovate, to bring forth new ideas, to solve problems, and to contribute to the advancement of humanity. The Wright brothers' story is a testament to the power of innovation and the impact it can have on the world. Finally, we learn the necessity of faith. Faith is the foundation upon which all great achievements are built. It is the belief in what is possible, even when it seems impossible. It is the confidence that God has placed within you everything you need to fulfill your purpose and achieve your vision. As we reflect on the story of the Wright brothers, let us be inspired to dream big, to pursue our visions with perseverance, to innovate with creativity, and to walk by faith, knowing that with God, all things are possible. The story of Rosa Parks, our lesson in courage, purpose, and kingdom citizenship. I want to share with you the story of a woman whose quiet strength and unwavering courage sparked a movement that changed the course of history. Her name is Rosa Parks, and her act of defiance on a Montgomery bus became a catalyst for the civil rights movement in the United States. But beyond the history books, the story of Rosa Parks is a powerful lesson in courage, purpose, and the responsibilities that come with being a citizen of the kingdom of God. Rosa Parks was an ordinary woman who found herself in an extraordinary situation. On December 1st, 1955, in Montgomery, Alabama, she refused to give up her seat to a white passenger on a segregated bus. This simple act of resistance was a powerful declaration against the systemic injustice and racism that permeated society at the time. But to fully appreciate the significance of her action, we must understand the principles that guided her life, principles that resonate deeply with the values of the kingdom. The true leadership is not about titles or positions, but about influence and the willingness to stand up for what is right, even in the face of adversity. Rosa Parks exemplified this kind of leadership. She was not a politician, a celebrity, or a public figure. She was a seamstress, an ordinary citizen. But she understood that leadership is not about who you are in the eyes of the world, but about who you are in the eyes of God. She knew that she had a responsibility to stand up against injustice, to be a voice for the voiceless, and to live out the values of the kingdom in her everyday life. Rosa Parks' decision to remain seated on that bus was not a spontaneous act of rebellion. It was a deliberate choice rooted in her deep sense of purpose and justice. I taught that purpose is the original intent for which something was created, and when you understand your purpose, you gain the courage to fulfill it no matter the cost. Rosa Parks understood her purpose. She knew that she was called to be a part of something greater than herself, a movement that would challenge the status quo and bring about change. But let us consider the courage it took for Rosa Parks to make that decision. In the segregated South, African Americans were subjected to laws and customs that enforced racial inequality and oppression. By refusing to give up her seat, Rosa Parks risked arrest, violence, and even death. Yet she was willing to take that risk because she believed in the righteousness of her cause. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act in spite of it. Courage is rooted in conviction, and when you are convicted by the truth, you cannot remain silent or passive in the face of injustice. Rosa Parks' courage was not just about defying a law, it was about standing up for the dignity and worth of every human being. It was about challenging a system that dehumanized people based on the color of their skin. Every person is made in the image of God and carries inherent value and worth. When Rosa Parks refused to move to the back of the bus, she was asserting the truth that all people are created equal and deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. Her act of defiance did not go unnoticed. It sparked the Montgomery bus boycott, a 3/8 one-day protest led by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and other civil rights leaders. This boycott became one of the most significant and successful movements against racial segregation in history. But it all began with one woman's decision to stand up for what was right. This brings us to another powerful lesson from Rosa Parks' story, the impact of individual actions on the collective good. Every individual has the power to influence change. I taught that the kingdom of God is advanced not just by great leaders, but by ordinary people who are willing to live out kingdom principles in their daily lives. Rosa Parks' action may have seemed small at the moment, but it had a ripple effect that changed the course of history. It reminds us that our actions, no matter how small, have the potential to make a significant impact when they are aligned with God's purpose. But there is a deeper spiritual truth here as well. Rosa Parks' story is a powerful example of what it means to be a citizen of the kingdom of God. Dr. Munroe often spoke about the concept of kingdom citizenship, emphasizing that as citizens of God's kingdom, we are called to live by a higher standard, a standard of justice, righteousness, and love. Rosa Parks understood this. She knew that the laws of man should never contradict the laws of God, and she was willing to challenge those laws when they did. As kingdom citizens, we are called to be ambassadors of God's justice and righteousness on earth. We are called to stand up against injustice, to speak out against oppression, and to work for the restoration of God's order in every sphere of life. Rosa Parks' story reminds us that this calling is not limited to those in positions of power. It is the responsibility of every believer. We are all called to be agents of change, to influence our communities, our nations, and our world for the kingdom of God. So what can we learn from the story of Rosa Parks? First, we learn the power of purpose. When you understand your purpose, you gain the courage to fulfill it no matter the cost. Purpose gives your life direction and meaning, and it empowers you to stand up for what is right. Second, we learn the importance of courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act in spite of it. It is the conviction to stand up for the truth, even when it is difficult or dangerous. Third, we learn the impact of individual actions on the collective good. Your actions, no matter how small, have the potential to influence change when they are aligned with God's purpose. Never underestimate the power of one person to make a difference. Finally, we learn about the responsibilities of kingdom citizenship. As citizens of God's kingdom, we are called to live by a higher standard, to be ambassadors of God's justice and righteousness on earth. We are called to stand up against injustice, to speak out against oppression, and to work for the restoration of God's order in every sphere of life. As we reflect on the story of Rosa Parks, let us be inspired to live with purpose, to act with courage, and to fulfill our responsibilities as kingdom citizens. Let us remember that we are all called to be agents of change, to influence our communities, our nations, and our world for the kingdom of God. You know, life is a journey filled with challenges, opportunities, and lessons. One of the greatest lessons we must learn is the value of paying attention to our enemies. Often we overlook their significance, dismissing them as mere obstacles, but I want to tell you today that your enemies can serve as some of the most profound teachers in your life. Your enemies are not the ones who will pat you on the back and applaud your every move. No, they are the ones who are watching you closely, waiting for you to slip up, to make a mistake. They are the ones who will not hesitate to point out your flaws, your weaknesses, your shortcomings. And while this may seem harsh, it is precisely this scrutiny that can become a powerful tool for your growth. You see, it is easy to get comfortable with praise, to bask in the warmth of approval. But growth rarely comes from comfort. Growth comes from being challenged, from facing criticism, from being aware of your vulnerabilities. Your enemies, in their pursuit to bring you down, are often the first to notice where you are lacking. They see the cracks in your armor, the gaps in your defenses, and they are quick to expose them. But here is the key: don't despise this. Embrace it. Learn from it. When your enemies highlight your mistakes, don't react with anger or defensiveness. Instead, respond with introspection and humility. Ask yourself, is there truth in what they say? If there is, then thank them silently, for they have given you a gift, a chance to improve, to grow stronger, to become better. Remember, your enemies are not concerned with sparing your feelings. They are not here to coddle you. They are here to test you, to push you, to challenge you. And it is in these challenges that you find the opportunity to refine yourself, to sharpen your skills, to correct your course. It is in these moments that you can turn what was meant to harm you into something that will build you up. So pay attention to your enemies, for they are often the first to discover your mistakes. They are the ones who will keep you from becoming complacent. They are the ones who will force you to confront your weaknesses. And if you are wise, you will use their criticism as a stepping stone to reach new heights, to achieve greater success, to fulfill your purpose with even greater excellence. In the end, it's not about proving your enemies wrong. It's about using every opportunity, even the ones wrapped in adversity, to become the person God has called you to be. So listen closely, learn diligently, and grow continually. For even in the eyes of your enemies, there is a mirror reflecting the areas where you can become stronger. Your enemies are always watching. They observe your actions with a level of attention that others may not. While your friends may focus on your strengths, your enemies are more interested in finding your weaknesses. They are constantly on the lookout for any slip up, any flaw in your approach, because their intention is to find something they can use against you. This scrutiny, though often unwelcome, is actually a unique form of attention that can serve you well. Where others might overlook the small details, your enemies catch them. They are vigilant, waiting for that moment when you make a mistake, no matter how minor. And because they are so focused on uncovering your errors, they often see things about you that even you may not have noticed. They are like sharp-eyed critics evaluating your every move, ready to pounce on any opportunity to expose your imperfections. But instead of fearing this observation, recognize it for what it is, an opportunity. The fact that your enemies are so keenly aware of your actions means that they are often the first to identify areas where you can improve. They don't sugarcoat things or turn a blind eye to your faults. They put them on display. This level of observation can become a valuable resource if you choose to use it wisely. By understanding that your enemies are always observing, you can approach your actions with greater awareness and intentionality. You can begin to anticipate the areas they might target and work on strengthening those aspects of yourself. In this way, what they intend for harm can actually contribute to your growth, making you more vigilant, more precise, and ultimately more successful. Criticism, especially from your enemies, is often uncomfortable and challenging to accept. However, when viewed from the right perspective, it can become one of the most powerful tools for your personal and professional growth. Unlike the feedback from friends or allies, which is often softened or delivered with kindness, the criticism from your enemies tends to be blunt and direct. They don't sugarcoat their words or cushion their blows. They speak with the intent to hurt or to expose, but therein lies the value. When your enemies criticize you, they are not concerned with preserving your feelings. Their goal is to highlight your weaknesses, to find the flaws that others might overlook or hesitate to mention. This raw honesty, though it may sting, provides you with a clearer view of where you might be falling short. It reveals the areas that require your attention and improvement. In this way, criticism from your enemies acts as a mirror, reflecting the parts of yourself that you may need to refine. Rather than dismissing this criticism or reacting defensively, you have the opportunity to use it constructively. By analyzing the feedback, you can identify whether there is any truth in it. If there is, then you have been given a gift and opportunity to grow. This criticism can highlight blind spots, helping you to see what you might have otherwise missed. It challenges you to elevate your game, to correct your mistakes, and to become better in the areas where you might be lacking. Moreover, embracing criticism requires humility and a willingness to learn. It pushes you out of your comfort zone, forcing you to confront the uncomfortable truths about yourself. But this discomfort is a necessary part of growth. It encourages you to be introspective, to assess your actions and decisions with greater scrutiny. And through this process of self-evaluation, you can make meaningful changes that lead to personal development and success. Ultimately, the criticism from your enemies, if used wisely, can propel you forward. It can drive you to achieve excellence, to overcome obstacles, and to strengthen your character. Instead of being a source of discouragement, it can become a catalyst for transformation, helping you to become the best version of yourself. So rather than shying away from it, embrace criticism as a valuable tool for your growth. Feedback from friends and allies often comes with a certain level of bias. They may want to protect your feelings, maintain harmony in the relationship, or simply avoid confrontation. As a result, their feedback can be softened, incomplete, or even skewed to focus more on your strengths than your areas of improvement. While this can be comforting, it doesn't always provide the clear, unvarnished truth that is necessary for genuine growth. This is where the feedback from your enemies becomes invaluable. Unlike those who care about maintaining a positive relationship with you, your enemies have no vested interest in sparing your feelings or cushioning the blow. They are not concerned with how their words will affect you emotionally. Their feedback, often delivered without tact or empathy, is usually free from the filters of bias and personal attachment. This lack of bias means that their feedback is more likely to be brutally honest, offering you insights that you might not receive from others. When your enemies point out your flaws, they do so with a level of directness that is rare and in many cases precisely what you need to hear. They highlight the mistakes you've made, the weaknesses in your strategy, and the gaps in your knowledge or abilities. This is feedback in its purest form, unfiltered, unembellished, and often brutally honest. The benefit of this unbiased feedback lies in its authenticity. It provides you with a clearer, more objective understanding of yourself and your actions. Without the need to protect your ego or preserve your feelings, your enemies reveal the truths that others may overlook or shy away from. This candid feedback allows you to see the full picture, including the parts that are not flattering or comfortable to acknowledge. Moreover, this unbiased feedback can serve as a powerful catalyst for change. When you receive it, you are confronted with the reality of where you stand, what needs to be improved, and how you can better yourself. It challenges you to take an honest look at your actions and decisions, to assess where you might have gone wrong, and to make the necessary adjustments. In this way, the feedback from your enemies, though harsh, becomes a tool for growth and self-improvement. By embracing this feedback, you open yourself up to the possibility of real progress. You move beyond the comfort of praise and into the realm of true development. The benefit of unbiased feedback is that it doesn't just make you feel good, it makes you better. It pushes you to confront your shortcomings, to address your mistakes, and to evolve into a more capable, resilient, and self-aware individual. So rather than dismissing or resenting the feedback from your enemies, recognize its value and use it to fuel your journey toward personal and professional excellence. We all have weaknesses, areas where we fall short or struggle to meet our own expectations. These weaknesses can feel like limitations holding us back from reaching our full potential. However, when viewed through the right lens, weaknesses are not just flaws to be fixed, they are opportunities for growth and transformation. One of the most powerful things you can do in life is to turn your weaknesses into strengths. Your enemies, in their efforts to undermine you, are often the first to identify and exploit your weaknesses. They seek out the vulnerabilities in your character, your skills, or your approach, aiming to use them against you. But what they intend for harm can actually serve as a roadmap for your improvement. By paying attention to the weaknesses your enemies point out, you gain valuable insight into the areas where you need to grow. Turning a weakness into a strength begins with acknowledging its existence. Denial only perpetuates the problem, but acceptance opens the door to change. Once you recognize a weakness, you can begin to work on it deliberately and strategically. This might involve seeking out new knowledge, developing new skills, or adopting new habits that counteract the weakness. It requires dedication, persistence, and a willingness to step outside of your comfort zone. For example, if your enemies highlight that you lack confidence in public speaking, this can become an area where you focus your efforts. By taking public speaking courses, practicing regularly, and seeking opportunities to speak in front of others, what was once a weakness can be transformed into a strength. Over time, you may even become known for your powerful and persuasive speeches, turning a form of vulnerability into a core part of your identity. The process of turning weaknesses into strengths is not always easy. It demands self-discipline, patience, and resilience. But the rewards are profound. Not only do you neutralize a potential point of attack, but you also expand your capabilities and become a more well-rounded individual. Each time you overcome a weakness, you add to your arsenal of strengths, building a foundation of confidence and competence that serves you in every aspect of your life. Moreover, the experience of overcoming a weakness often deepens your character. It teaches you humility as you confront your limitations and perseverance as you work to overcome them. These lessons are invaluable, contributing to your overall growth and development. As you transform your weaknesses, you also transform yourself, evolving into a stronger, more capable, and more resilient person. In the end, turning weaknesses into strengths is about embracing the challenges that life and your enemies present to you. It's about recognizing that your weaknesses don't define you, rather, they are stepping stones on the path to becoming the person you were meant to be. By approaching your weaknesses with a mindset of growth and determination, you can turn what once held you back into a powerful force that propels you forward. Complacency is one of the most subtle and dangerous traps we can fall into on our journey to success and personal growth. It's that comfortable feeling of satisfaction with where you are, leading you to believe that there's no need to strive for more, to push harder, or to continue improving. While contentment with what you've achieved is important, complacency can lead to stagnation, causing you to miss opportunities for further growth and leaving you vulnerable to unexpected challenges. Your enemies, however, are never complacent about you. They are always on the lookout, waiting for you to make a mistake or fall short. This constant vigilance on their part can be a powerful antidote to your own complacency. Knowing that there are people out there who would like to see you fail can serve as a reminder that you cannot afford to rest on your laurels. You need to stay sharp, continually refining your skills and staying ahead of the curve. Avoiding complacency requires a mindset of continuous improvement. It's about recognizing that no matter how much you've achieved, there is always more to learn, more to accomplish, and more ways to grow. This doesn't mean you can't enjoy your successes, but it does mean that you view each achievement as a stepping stone rather than a final destination. When you allow yourself to become too comfortable, you stop challenging yourself, and that's when growth comes to a halt. Your enemies, in their pursuit of your weaknesses, inadvertently push you to stay vigilant. They won't let you forget that there's always room for improvement, that there's always a need to stay one step ahead. This pressure can be a powerful motivator, keeping you from slipping into a state of complacency. Instead of becoming comfortable with where you are, you remain alert, always ready to adapt, to learn, and to evolve. Moreover, avoiding complacency means embracing a mindset of humility. It's about understanding that no matter how much you know or how skilled you are, there is always more to learn. Complacency often stems from the mistaken belief that you've reached the peak of your abilities, that there's nothing more to be gained. But true success and growth come from a willingness to continually challenge yourself, to seek out new knowledge, and to push beyond your current limits. One of the dangers of complacency is that it can blind you to the changing dynamics around you. The world is constantly evolving, and if you're not paying attention, you might find yourself left behind. By staying proactive and avoiding complacency, you position yourself to adapt to new challenges and seize new opportunities. You remain flexible, ready to pivot when necessary, and capable of thriving in an ever-changing environment. In essence, avoiding complacency is about staying hungry for growth. It's about never settling for good enough and always striving to reach your full potential. Your enemies, by keeping you on your toes, serve as a constant reminder that you must remain vigilant, focused, and driven. Complacency may offer temporary comfort, but it comes at the cost of long-term success and fulfillment. By actively working to avoid it, you ensure that you continue to grow, to learn, and to achieve greater heights in every aspect of your life. Adversity is an inevitable part of life. It comes in many forms: unexpected challenges, setbacks, failures, and even the actions of those who wish to see you fail. While adversity can be discouraging, it also has the potential to become one of the most powerful motivators you can harness. When you learn to use adversity as motivation, you transform difficulties into opportunities for growth, resilience, and success. The key to using adversity as motivation lies in your perspective. It's easy to see adversity as something negative, something that holds you back or makes your journey more difficult. However, if you shift your mindset, you can begin to view adversity as a catalyst for change. Instead of seeing it as an obstacle, you can see it as a challenge that pushes you to dig deeper, to find strength you didn't know you had, and to push beyond your current limits. Your enemies often play a significant role in creating adversity. They may criticize you, undermine your efforts, or actively work against you. While their actions may seem like setbacks, they can actually serve as powerful sources of motivation. The adversity they create forces you to rise to the occasion, to prove them wrong, and to demonstrate your resilience and determination. In this way, the very thing that was meant to break you becomes the fuel that drives you forward. Adversity also has a way of revealing your true character. When faced with challenges, you have a choice. You can either give up or you can use the adversity to become stronger. It's in these moments of difficulty that you discover your inner strength, your resourcefulness, and your ability to persevere. Adversity tests you, but it also teaches you valuable lessons. It shows you what you're made of and helps you develop the resilience needed to face future challenges. Moreover, using adversity as motivation can help you achieve things you might not have thought possible. When you encounter a setback or face opposition, it can ignite a fire within you. It can push you to work harder, to think more creatively, and to find solutions you might not have considered before. Adversity forces you out of your comfort zone, and in doing so, it opens up new possibilities and opportunities for growth. Another important aspect of using adversity as motivation is the sense of accomplishment that comes from overcoming it. When you face a difficult situation and come out on the other side, you gain a deep sense of pride and satisfaction. You've proven to yourself that you can handle whatever life throws at you, and that knowledge empowers you to take on even greater challenges in the future. Every time you overcome adversity, you build confidence in your ability to succeed, no matter the circumstances. In addition, adversity can be a powerful reminder of your purpose. When the going gets tough, it forces you to reconnect with your goals and the reasons why you're pursuing them. It reminds you of what's truly important and pushes you to stay focused and committed, even when the path is difficult. Adversity can strip away distractions and help you hone in on what really matters, giving you the motivation to keep moving forward. Ultimately, using adversity as motivation is about transforming difficulties into stepping stones on your path to success. It's about recognizing that every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become stronger. Instead of allowing adversity to hold you back, you use it as a driving force that propels you toward your goals. By embracing this mindset, you can turn even the toughest situations into powerful motivators that lead you to achieve your fullest potential. Opposition is often viewed as a barrier to success, something that stands in the way of our goals and aspirations. Yet, when approached with the right mindset, opposition can be one of the most valuable sources of learning and growth. Learning from opposition involves transforming challenges, conflicts, and resistance into lessons that enhance your understanding, sharpen your skills, and ultimately make you stronger and more resilient. When you encounter opposition, whether it comes from external forces like competitors, critics, or even those who wish to see you fail, it forces you to confront the realities of your situation. This opposition highlights areas where your strategies might be flawed, where your weaknesses are exposed, or where your approach needs refining. Instead of viewing this resistance as purely negative, you can see it as feedback and opportunity to gain deeper insights into yourself and your environment. Opposition often brings to light different perspectives that you may not have considered before. When someone opposes your ideas or actions, they are usually coming from a place of different values, experiences, or knowledge. By engaging with this opposition, you open yourself up to new ways of thinking and understanding. It challenges your assumptions and forces you to reevaluate your own beliefs and methods. This process of re-examination is crucial for growth as it prevents you from becoming rigid or complacent in your thinking. Furthermore, learning from opposition teaches you the importance of adaptability. In the face of resistance, you must learn to adjust your strategies, refine your tactics, and sometimes even pivot entirely. Opposition pushes you to be more flexible and creative in finding solutions. It sharpens your problem-solving skills as you are required to think on your feet and find ways to overcome the challenges presented to you. This adaptability is not just valuable in the moment, but it also prepares you to handle future challenges more effectively. Another critical aspect of learning from opposition is the development of resilience. Opposition tests your resolve and determination. It asks you whether you truly believe in your goals and whether you are willing to fight for them. Each time you encounter and overcome opposition, you build resilience, the mental toughness that allows you to persist in the face of difficulty. This resilience is a cornerstone of success as it enables you to keep moving forward even when the odds seem stacked against you. Opposition also provides an opportunity for personal growth in terms of emotional intelligence. Dealing with those who oppose you requires patience, empathy, and the ability to manage your emotions. It challenges you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. By navigating opposition with grace and understanding, you not only strengthen your own character, but also build stronger relationships with others. You learn to see the humanity in those who disagree with you and to engage in constructive dialogue rather than conflict. Moreover, opposition can be a powerful motivator. When someone stands in your way or tells you that you can't achieve something, it can ignite a fire within you. This opposition can serve as a catalyst for action, driving you to prove your doubters wrong and to push beyond the limits that others try to impose on you. It can turn doubt into determination and criticism into fuel for your ambition. Finally, learning from opposition instills in you a greater sense of humility. It reminds you that you don't have all the answers and that there is always more to learn. This humility is essential for continuous improvement as it keeps you open to new ideas, feedback, and the possibility of change. By embracing the lessons that opposition offers, you cultivate a mindset that is always striving for growth, understanding, and betterment. In conclusion, opposition, when viewed through the lens of learning, is not a hindrance but a powerful teacher. It challenges you to think critically, adapt quickly, build resilience, and grow emotionally. It pushes you out of your comfort zone and forces you to confront the realities of your situation. By learning from opposition, you turn resistance into a stepping stone, propelling yourself toward greater success, wisdom, and fulfillment. Reflection is a powerful tool that allows you to gain deeper insights into your experiences, decisions, and the outcomes of your actions. It is the process of looking back on what has happened, analyzing the choices you've made, and understanding the lessons that can be drawn from those experiences. The value of reflection lies in its ability to transform past experiences into wisdom, guiding your future decisions and helping you grow as an individual. In a fast-paced world where we are constantly moving from one task to the next, it's easy to overlook the importance of taking a step back to reflect. However, without reflection, we miss out on the opportunity to truly learn from our experiences. Reflection allows us to pause and consider the impact of our actions, the effectiveness of our strategies, and the outcomes we've achieved. It provides us with the clarity needed to understand what worked, what didn't, and why. The value of reflection is particularly evident when it comes to learning from mistakes or failures. When things don't go as planned, it can be tempting to brush off the experience and move on quickly. But reflection invites us to delve deeper, to explore the root causes of our failures, and to identify the areas where we can improve. Through reflection, we turn mistakes into valuable lessons, ensuring that we don't repeat them in the future. It's through this process that we build resilience and become better equipped to handle challenges. Reflection also enhances our self-awareness. By regularly reflecting on our thoughts, behaviors, and emotions, we gain a better understanding of ourselves. We become more attuned to our strengths and weaknesses, our values and beliefs, and how these aspects influence our decisions and interactions with others. This heightened self-awareness allows us to make more intentional and informed choices, leading to personal growth and improved relationships. Moreover, reflection helps us maintain a sense of perspective. In the midst of challenges or setbacks, it's easy to become overwhelmed and lose sight of the bigger picture. Reflection allows us to step back and view our situation from a broader perspective. It helps us recognize the progress we've made, the obstacles we've overcome, and the growth we've experienced along the way. This perspective is crucial for maintaining motivation and resilience, as it reminds us that every experience, whether positive or negative, contributes to our overall journey. Another valuable aspect of reflection is its role in decision-making. When faced with important decisions, reflection allows us to draw on past experiences to inform our choices. By reflecting on similar situations we've encountered before, we can identify patterns, assess potential outcomes, and make more informed and thoughtful decisions. This reflective approach reduces the likelihood of impulsive or poorly considered choices, leading to better results in both our personal and professional lives. So, reflection also fosters continuous improvement. It encourages a mindset of ongoing learning and growth, where we are constantly seeking to better ourselves and our actions. By regularly reflecting on our performance, we can identify areas for improvement, set new goals, and track our progress over time. This commitment to reflection ensures that we are always moving forward, evolving, and striving to reach our full potential. In addition to personal growth, reflection has significant value in our interactions with others. It allows us to consider how our actions affect those around us, how we communicate, and how we can build stronger, more meaningful relationships. Through reflection, we develop empathy and understanding, which are essential for effective collaboration and connection with others. Finally, the value of reflection lies in its ability to cultivate a sense of gratitude and fulfillment. When we take the time to reflect on our experiences, we become more aware of the positive aspects of our lives, the achievements, the lessons learned, the relationships we built. This awareness fosters a sense of gratitude for what we have and what we've accomplished, leading to greater contentment and a more positive outlook on life. In summary, the value of reflection is multifaceted. It transforms experiences into wisdom, enhances self-awareness, provides perspective, informs decision-making, fosters continuous improvement, strengthens relationships, and cultivates gratitude. By making reflection a regular practice, we unlock its full potential, allowing it to guide us toward a more thoughtful, intentional, and fulfilling life. Strengthening character is a profound and ongoing journey of personal development that involves shaping and refining the core attributes that define who we are. Character encompasses our values, principles, and behaviors, the essence of our moral and ethical identity. Strengthening character is about building a robust foundation that guides us through life's challenges, influences how we interact with others, and shapes our overall approach to life. At its core, strengthening character involves a deep commitment to personal growth. It requires us to engage in self-examination, to assess our strengths and weaknesses, and to work intentionally on developing qualities that contribute to our moral and ethical integrity. This process often involves setting high standards for ourselves, adhering to our values even when it's difficult, and continuously striving to align our actions with our principles. One key aspect of strengthening character is the development of resilience. Life is full of adversities, and how we respond to these challenges reveals a lot about our character. Resilience involves facing difficulties with courage and perseverance, learning from setbacks, and using them as opportunities for growth. By strengthening our resilience, we build the inner strength needed to overcome obstacles and maintain our commitment to our values, even in the face of adversity. – Another important component is the cultivation of integrity. Integrity is about being true to oneself and one's principles, regardless of external pressures or temptations. It involves honesty, consistency, and accountability in all aspects of life. Strengthening integrity requires us to be transparent in our actions, to honor our commitments, and to hold ourselves accountable for our decisions. This unwavering commitment to ethical behavior builds trust and credibility, both with ourselves and others. Empathy and compassion are also crucial elements in strengthening character. These qualities involve understanding and sharing the feelings of others and acting with kindness and consideration. By developing empathy, we enhance our ability to connect with others, build meaningful relationships, and contribute positively to our communities. Compassion drives us to act in ways that alleviate the suffering of others, fostering a sense of shared humanity and reinforcing our commitment to ethical behavior. Self-discipline is another vital aspect of character development. It involves controlling our impulses, staying focused on our goals, and maintaining consistency in our efforts. Strengthening self-discipline requires us to set clear objectives, create structured plans, and adhere to them, even when faced with distractions or temptations. This quality helps us to persevere in our endeavors and to achieve long-term success. In addition to these qualities, humility plays a significant role in character development. Humility involves recognizing our limitations, being open to feedback, and valuing the perspectives and contributions of others. It helps us to remain grounded, to approach challenges with an open mind, and to continually learn and grow. Humility fosters a spirit of collaboration and respect, enhancing our interactions with others and contributing to a positive and supportive environment. Strengthening character also involves developing a sense of responsibility. This means taking ownership of our actions, decisions, and their consequences. It involves being accountable not only for our successes, but also for our mistakes. By embracing responsibility, we demonstrate maturity and reliability, and we build the foundation for trust and respect in our relationships. Furthermore, personal growth and character development are often driven by a commitment to lifelong learning. This involves seeking knowledge, embracing new experiences, and being open to change. Lifelong learning allows us to adapt to evolving circumstances, to refine our understanding of ourselves and the world, and to continuously improve our character. Ultimately, strengthening character is a dynamic and ongoing process. It requires consistent effort, self-reflection, and a willingness to confront and address our shortcomings. It involves setting and maintaining high standards for ourselves, nurturing positive qualities, and striving to live in alignment with our values. By focusing on character development, we build a strong foundation that guides our actions, influences our relationships, and shapes our overall approach to life. This commitment to personal growth enriches our lives, enhances our interactions with others, and contributes to a meaningful and fulfilling existence. Transforming negative energy is an essential skill for personal growth and well-being. Negative energy can manifest in various forms: stress, frustration, anger, resentment, or pessimism. These emotions and attitudes can be overwhelming, affecting our mental health, relationships, and overall quality of life. However, by learning to transform negative energy, we can turn these challenges into opportunities for positive change, growth, and resilience. The first step in transforming negative energy is awareness. Recognizing when and how negative energy arises is crucial for managing it effectively. This involves being mindful of your emotions, thoughts, and reactions. By paying attention to these internal signals, you can identify patterns and triggers that contribute to negative energy. Awareness allows you to address issues before they escalate, creating a foundation for constructive transformation. Once you've identified negative energy, the next step is to acknowledge and accept it. Denying or suppressing negative emotions can lead to further complications and mental strain. Instead, accept that negative energy is a natural part of life and that experiencing it doesn't define your entire existence. By acknowledging these feelings, you create a space for processing and addressing them constructively. One powerful way to transform negative energy is through reframing. Reframing involves changing your perspective on a situation to see it in a more positive or constructive light. For example, if you're facing a challenging project at work, instead of viewing it as an overwhelming burden, you can reframe it as an opportunity to develop new skills and showcase your abilities. This shift in perspective can reduce the impact of negative energy and motivate you to approach the situation with a more positive mindset. Another effective technique is to channel negative energy into productive actions. Negative emotions can be a source of drive and motivation if directed appropriately. For instance, frustration or anger can fuel a desire to solve a problem or improve a situation. Channeling this energy into productive activities, such as setting and working towards goals, can help you overcome obstacles and achieve positive outcomes. This process not only helps in managing negative energy, but also contributes to personal and professional growth. Practicing mindfulness and relaxation techniques is also beneficial in transforming negative energy. Mindfulness involves being fully present in the moment and observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Techniques such as meditation, deep breathing exercises, and progressive muscle relaxation can help calm the mind and body, reducing the intensity of negative emotions. By incorporating these practices into your routine, you create a space for inner peace and balance, making it easier to manage and transform negative energy. In addition to individual practices, seeking support from others can play a crucial role in transforming negative energy. Sharing your feelings with friends, family, or a mental health professional can provide new perspectives, emotional support, and practical advice. Engaging in open and honest conversations allows you to process your emotions, gain insights, and receive encouragement, helping you navigate and transform negative energy more effectively. Another important aspect of transforming negative energy is self-care. Taking care of your physical, emotional, and mental well-being is essential for maintaining balance and resilience. Engaging in activities that you enjoy, prioritizing rest and relaxation, and maintaining a healthy lifestyle can help reduce stress and improve your overall outlook. By nurturing yourself, you build a stronger foundation for managing and transforming negative energy. Setting boundaries is also crucial in managing negative energy. Often, negative energy is exacerbated by external factors such as toxic environments or demanding relationships. By setting clear boundaries and protecting your space, you create an environment that supports your well-being. This may involve limiting exposure to negative influences, asserting your needs, and prioritizing your mental health. Furthermore, focusing on gratitude can shift your mindset and transform negative energy into positive growth. Gratitude involves recognizing and appreciating the positive aspects of your life, even in the midst of challenges. Keeping a gratitude journal where you regularly note things you're thankful for can help shift your focus away from negative experiences and cultivate a more positive and optimistic outlook. Lastly, embracing personal growth and learning from experiences contributes to the transformation of negative energy. Every challenge and setback offers valuable lessons that can contribute to your development. By viewing negative experiences as opportunities for growth, you turn adversity into a catalyst for positive change, enhancing your resilience and capacity for handling future challenges. In summary, transforming negative energy involves a multifaceted approach that includes awareness, acceptance, reframing, productive action, mindfulness, seeking support, self-care, setting boundaries, gratitude, and personal growth. By employing these strategies, you can effectively manage and convert negative energy into a force for positive change, leading to improved well-being, enhanced resilience, and a more fulfilling life. In conclusion, transforming negative energy is not just about managing your emotions, but about harnessing them as a catalyst for personal growth and positive change. By developing awareness of your negative emotions and accepting them as a natural part of life, you lay the groundwork for constructive transformation. Techniques such as reframing, channeling energy into productive actions, and practicing mindfulness empower you to shift your perspective and redirect your focus. Seeking support from others and engaging in self-care practices further enhance your ability to maintain balance and resilience. Setting boundaries, embracing gratitude, and viewing challenges as opportunities for growth all contribute to a more positive and proactive approach to handling adversity. Through these strategies, negative energy is transformed from a potential barrier into a powerful force for self-improvement and achievement. By adopting these practices, you can turn obstacles into stepping stones, fostering a more fulfilling and resilient life. Embracing the process of transforming negative energy equips you with the tools to navigate life's challenges with grace, strength, and optimism, ultimately leading to a richer and more empowered existence. Every day is a new opportunity, a gift that God has given us. Before you rush into your tasks, before the noise of the world distracts you, take a moment to pause. Begin each day by centering yourself in God's presence. Remember, you are not just living by accident. You are here with purpose, with destiny, and with potential that is greater than the challenges you will face today. As you start your day, know this: you are created in the image of God, the creator of all things. Within you lies the power to create, to innovate, to bring forth new ideas, to solve problems, and to bring light where there is darkness. The way you begin your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Will you allow your circumstances to dictate your mood, your mindset, and your attitude? Or will you choose to rise above, to walk in faith, and to command your day with authority? God did not place you on this earth to live an ordinary life. You are not meant to merely survive. You are meant to thrive. Each morning is a chance to step into the greatness that God has placed inside you. Don't allow fear, doubt, or negativity to cloud your vision. Remind yourself that you are more than a conqueror, and there is nothing you cannot overcome with God by your side. Speak life over your day. Declare that today you will operate in wisdom, that you will find favor in every place you go, and that every obstacle you encounter will be an opportunity for growth and strength. Do not be discouraged by setbacks, for they are merely setups for something greater. Every challenge is a chance to build resilience. Every hardship is an opportunity to strengthen your faith, and every rejection is a redirection to something better. Before you step out, remember that you carry the kingdom of God within you. You are an ambassador of His will, His power, and His glory. Let your actions reflect His love. Let your words speak His truth, and let your heart be a vessel of His grace. Be mindful of your thoughts, for they shape your reality. What you meditate on, you magnify. Today is not just another day. It is a day filled with purpose, a day ordained by God. Approach it with intention, with courage, and with the assurance that you are divinely equipped for everything that comes your way. Trust that God has already gone ahead of you, making crooked paths straight, opening doors that no man can shut, and preparing blessings that are beyond your imagination. So as you go forth, walk boldly, live purposefully, and shine brightly. Today, make the choice to live in the fullness of who God created you to be. Remember, the way you start your day determines how you live it. Start it with God and watch how He transforms every moment into a testimony of His faithfulness. Before you dive into the whirlwind of the day, take a moment to pause and center yourself. This is not merely a routine. It is a crucial practice for aligning your mind and spirit with God's purpose for your life. In the stillness of these first moments, you connect with your true source of strength and guidance. It is in this pause that you remind yourself that you are not alone in facing the challenges ahead. Centering yourself means recognizing that your day is not just a series of tasks, but a canvas for God's will and your destiny. By taking this time to reflect, you place yourself in a position of clarity and focus. This practice helps you to recalibrate your thoughts and emotions, ensuring that they are in harmony with the divine plan laid out for you. In this sacred pause, you are essentially setting your internal compass. It allows you to align your goals, actions, and decisions with the higher purpose that God has designed for you. It's a moment to seek divine guidance, to reaffirm your commitment to live according to His principles, and to prepare your heart to embrace the day's opportunities and challenges with grace and resilience. This pause is not about escaping the demands of life, but about engaging with them from a place of spiritual strength. It is about stepping into the day with a clear mind, a renewed spirit, and a focused heart. When you center yourself in God's presence, you tap into a reservoir of wisdom and courage that empowers you to face whatever comes your way. So as you stand on the threshold of a new day, remember that this moment of stillness is where your day begins to take shape. It is where you invite God into your journey, trusting that He will guide you through every decision and every obstacle. By pausing and centering yourself, you set the tone for a day filled with purpose, clarity, and divine direction. Embracing your purpose means recognizing that you are here for a reason with a specific role to play in the grand design of life. It starts with understanding that you are not just another individual moving through life aimlessly. You are a unique creation with a divine purpose, endowed with gifts and talents that are meant to contribute to the greater good. Every day you are presented with opportunities to align your actions with this purpose. It's essential to acknowledge that your life has significance and that your efforts, no matter how small they may seem, are part of a larger plan. Embracing your purpose means accepting that you have a unique contribution to make, whether it's through your career, relationships, or personal growth. When you fully embrace your purpose, you begin to live with intention and passion. You understand that your actions are not just about fulfilling daily responsibilities, but about making an impact that resonates beyond yourself. This awareness fuels your motivation and drives you to pursue excellence in everything you do. It gives you the courage to face challenges and the resilience to overcome obstacles, knowing that you are fulfilling a greater calling. Recognizing and embracing your purpose also means being willing to step out of your comfort zone. It involves taking bold steps in faith, trusting that your journey is guided by a higher power. It's about leveraging your talents and strengths to make a difference, not just for your benefit, but for the benefit of others. Each day, as you set out to fulfill your purpose, remember that you are equipped with everything you need to succeed. You have been given the vision, the skills, and the opportunities to make a meaningful impact. Embracing your purpose is not just a one-time realization, but a daily commitment to living out your calling with integrity, passion, and dedication. So as you prepare to start your day, remind yourself of the profound truth that your life has purpose and meaning. Embrace it with gratitude and confidence. Let it guide your actions, inspire your decisions, and shape your interactions. By embracing your purpose, you not only enhance your own life, but also contribute to the fulfillment of the divine plan that encompasses us all. Acknowledging your greatness is a fundamental step in living a fulfilling and impactful life. It means recognizing that you are not just an ordinary individual, but a person of immense potential and value, created in the image of God. Each day before you step into the world, it is crucial to remind yourself of the inherent greatness that resides within you. This acknowledgement is more than just a mental exercise. It is an affirmation of your worth and capabilities. It involves understanding that you possess unique gifts, talents, and abilities that are meant to be used for a greater purpose. Your greatness is not defined by external circumstances or the opinions of others, but by the divine potential that God has placed within you. When you acknowledge your greatness, you set a powerful mindset for the day. You approach each challenge with confidence, knowing that you are equipped to handle it. You face obstacles with resilience, understanding that you have the strength and wisdom to overcome them. This self-recognition fuels your motivation and drives you to pursue your goals with passion and determination. Furthermore, acknowledging your greatness helps you to set high standards for yourself. It empowers you to strive for excellence in every aspect of your life, from your personal growth to your professional endeavors. It shifts your focus from limitations and failures to possibilities and opportunities, allowing you to embrace each day with a sense of purpose and excitement. Remember, acknowledging your greatness is not about arrogance or pride. It is about honoring the truth of who you are and the potential you hold. It is about embracing the reality that you are capable of achieving great things and making a significant impact. By recognizing and valuing your own greatness, you position yourself to live a life that reflects the divine potential and purpose that God has instilled in you. As you begin your day, take a moment to affirm your greatness. Speak words of encouragement to yourself, visualize your goals, and embrace the confidence that comes from knowing you are destined for greatness. Let this acknowledgement guide your actions, inspire your efforts, and shape your interactions. By recognizing and embracing your inherent greatness, you set the stage for a day filled with purpose, achievement, and fulfillment. Speaking life over your day is a powerful practice that involves using your words to shape the reality you want to experience. Before you embark on your daily journey, take a moment to declare positive and empowering statements over your day. Your words have the power to create, transform, and influence your surroundings, so choose them wisely. When you speak life over your day, you set a tone of optimism and possibility. Begin by affirming your intentions and goals. Declare that you will approach the day with purpose and clarity. By speaking with conviction, you align your thoughts and actions with the outcomes you wish to achieve. This act of speaking life is not just about wishful thinking, but about actively directing your energy and focus towards success. Furthermore, speaking life over your day involves envisioning positive outcomes and expressing gratitude for what you have and what is to come. It's about recognizing and acknowledging the potential for blessings, opportunities, and growth in every situation. By focusing on the positive, you invite more positivity into your life. This practice helps you maintain a constructive mindset, even when faced with challenges. In addition, speaking life over your day includes declaring favor and blessings, not just for yourself, but for others as well. Offer words of encouragement and support for those you will interact with. Your positive words can uplift others and create a ripple effect of goodwill and collaboration. This not only enhances your own experience, but also contributes to a more harmonious and supportive environment. Remember, the way you speak to yourself and about your day influences your perception and actions. If you speak words of defeat and negativity, you are more likely to encounter obstacles and setbacks. But when you speak with hope, confidence, and expectation, you align yourself with the abundance and possibilities that God has prepared for you. So as you prepare to start your day, take a few moments to speak life into it. Declare that you will achieve your goals, that you will encounter opportunities, and that you will overcome any challenges with grace and strength. Affirm that you are equipped with wisdom, courage, and favor. Let your words be a powerful force that shapes a day filled with success, fulfillment, and divine blessings. Seeing challenges as opportunities is a transformative perspective that can redefine how you approach each day. Rather than viewing obstacles as roadblocks or setbacks, recognize them as chances for growth, learning, and advancement. This shift in mindset is crucial for achieving greatness and living a life of purpose. Challenges are not merely difficulties to endure, they are chances to discover and develop your potential. Each challenge you face is a chance to expand your capabilities, build resilience, and gain new insights. When you encounter a problem, view it as an opportunity to refine your skills, test your creativity, and strengthen your character. This perspective allows you to approach difficulties with a sense of purpose and excitement rather than dread. Furthermore, challenges often come with hidden blessings. They push you out of your comfort zone and force you to confront areas where you need to grow. In overcoming these obstacles, you discover strengths and abilities you might not have realized you possessed. Each challenge can become a stepping stone to greater achievements and personal development. By seeing challenges as opportunities, you cultivate a mindset of optimism and perseverance. You train yourself to look for solutions rather than dwelling on problems. This proactive approach empowers you to take control of your circumstances and turn potential setbacks into platforms for success. It helps you maintain a positive outlook and stay motivated even when faced with difficulties. In addition, this perspective fosters a sense of gratitude. Instead of feeling frustrated or defeated by challenges, you begin to appreciate them as essential components of your journey. They are integral to your growth and progress, shaping you into a stronger, more capable individual. As you prepare for the day ahead, adopt this mindset. Embrace each challenge with the belief that it holds valuable lessons and opportunities for advancement. Approach every obstacle with the confidence that you have the ability to overcome it, and that doing so will propel you closer to your goals. By seeing challenges as opportunities, you not only enhance your personal growth, but also set yourself up for a day of triumphs and achievements. Reflecting God's kingdom involves embodying the values, principles, and character of God in every aspect of your life. Before you step into your day, it's crucial to align your actions, thoughts, and interactions with the essence of God's kingdom. This practice is not just about religious observance, but about living out the principles that define the kingdom of heaven in your daily life. To reflect God's kingdom is to live with integrity, compassion, and justice. It means letting your actions be a testament to the love, mercy, and righteousness that God exemplifies. As you go through your day, let every decision, every interaction, and every word reflect the values of the kingdom. This includes treating others with kindness, showing respect, and acting with honesty and fairness. Your conduct should mirror the grace and truth that God embodies. Living out the kingdom principles also involves being a beacon of hope and encouragement. In a world that can often be harsh and discouraging, let your presence bring light and positivity. Offer support and encouragement to those around you and be a source of inspiration and upliftment. By doing so, you extend the kingdom's influence, creating a ripple effect of goodness and positive change. Reflecting God's kingdom also means exercising stewardship over the resources and opportunities entrusted to you. Whether it's in your work, your relationships, or your personal growth, manage your responsibilities with a sense of purpose and accountability. Recognize that you are a steward of God's blessings and use them to contribute to the betterment of others and to further the kingdom's mission on earth. Furthermore, embodying the kingdom's values requires you to live out forgiveness, humility, and reconciliation. When faced with conflicts or grievances, approach them with a heart willing to forgive and reconcile. Reflect the peace and harmony that God desires for His people and seek to resolve differences in a way that honors His principles. As you prepare for the day ahead, commit to being a reflection of God's kingdom in all you do. Let your actions be guided by divine wisdom and compassion, and let your interactions be marked by love and respect. By aligning yourself with the values of the kingdom, you not only honor God, but also contribute to creating a more just, loving, and harmonious world. This reflection of God's kingdom will not only enrich your day, but also make a meaningful impact on those around you. Mind your thoughts is a powerful principle that shapes your reality and influences every aspect of your life. Before you begin your day, take a moment to focus on the power of your thoughts and their impact on your journey. Your thoughts are not just fleeting ideas, they are the foundation upon which your actions and attitudes are built. What you choose to think about sets the direction for your day and ultimately your life. Thoughts of hope, positivity, and possibility can propel you towards success and fulfillment, while negative or limiting thoughts can hinder your progress and cloud your perspective. Therefore, it is essential to be mindful of what you allow to occupy your mind. When you mind your thoughts, you consciously choose to focus on ideas that uplift and empower you. Begin your day by affirming positive beliefs about yourself and your capabilities. Replace thoughts of doubt and fear with affirmations of confidence and strength. This practice not only boosts your self-esteem, but also aligns your mindset with the divine purpose and potential that God has placed within you. Furthermore, be aware of how your thoughts affect your interactions with others. Negative or critical thinking can lead to conflict and misunderstandings, while positive and constructive thoughts foster harmonious relationships and effective communication. By maintaining a mindset of empathy and understanding, you enhance your ability to connect with others and contribute to a more supportive and collaborative environment. Mindfulness of your thoughts also involves being vigilant against negative self-talk and limiting beliefs. When you catch yourself entertaining thoughts that diminish your self-worth or capabilities, challenge them with truth and positive affirmation. Recognize that your thoughts are powerful and that you have the ability to direct them towards constructive and empowering outcomes. In addition, consider the influence of external inputs on your thoughts. Surround yourself with positive influences, people, media, and environments that inspire and motivate you. This creates a supportive framework that reinforces your positive thinking and helps you maintain focus on your goals. As you prepare to start your day, take control of your thoughts and set a positive, proactive tone. Affirm your goals, envision success, and fill your mind with ideas that align with your purpose. By minding your thoughts, you lay the groundwork for a day filled with intention, effectiveness, and divine alignment. Remember, your thoughts shape your reality, so choose them wisely and let them guide you towards a successful and fulfilling day. Living with intention means approaching each day with a clear sense of purpose and deliberate action. It's about moving beyond mere existence and instead making conscious choices that align with your goals, values, and divine calling. Before you start your day, take a moment to reflect on what it means to live intentionally and how it can transform your daily experience. When you live with intention, you set specific, purposeful goals for yourself. Rather than reacting passively to the events of the day, you actively choose your responses and actions based on your long-term vision and values. This means prioritizing tasks that align with your personal and professional objectives and avoiding distractions that do not contribute to your purpose. Intentional living requires mindfulness and focus. Start your day by identifying the key areas where you want to make an impact. This might include advancing your career, nurturing your relationships, or pursuing personal growth. By having a clear sense of direction, you can channel your energy and resources more effectively, ensuring that your efforts are aligned with your desired outcomes. In addition, living with intention involves making thoughtful decisions about how you spend your time and energy. Recognize that each moment is a precious opportunity to move closer to your goals. Choose activities and interactions that reflect your values and support your aspirations. This means being selective about your commitments and learning to say no to things that do not serve your greater purpose. Intentional living also requires self-discipline and accountability. Set clear intentions for the day and hold yourself accountable for following through on them. This involves creating a plan of action and staying committed to it, even when faced with challenges or distractions. By maintaining focus and discipline, you can achieve your goals and make meaningful progress. Moreover, living with intention means being present and fully engaged in each moment. Rather than being consumed by past regrets or future anxieties, embrace the present with a sense of purpose and gratitude. This presence allows you to make the most of each day and to find fulfillment in your daily activities. As you prepare to start your day, take a moment to set your intentions. Reflect on what you want to achieve, how you want to act, and the impact you wish to make. By living with intention, you transform your day from a series of random events into a purposeful journey. Embrace each moment with clarity and resolve, and let your actions reflect your commitment to living a life of purpose and fulfillment. Transforming moments into testimonies is about recognizing and seizing the opportunities within everyday experiences to showcase the power and faithfulness of God. Before you embark on your day, consider how each moment can be an opportunity to witness and testify to the divine workings in your life. Every experience, whether it seems significant or trivial, holds the potential to become a testimony of God's greatness. Challenges and triumphs alike offer chances to demonstrate how God's presence and guidance shape your journey. By approaching each moment with this perspective, you can turn ordinary events into extraordinary examples of faith and resilience. To transform moments into testimonies, begin by cultivating a mindset of gratitude and awareness. As you navigate through your day, look for the hand of God in both the big and small aspects of your life. Whether you encounter obstacles or enjoy successes, recognize them as opportunities to reflect on how divine intervention and guidance are at work. When faced with difficulties, choose to respond with faith and perseverance. Let your actions and reactions become a testament to the strength and grace that God provides. Each challenge overcome is not just a personal victory, but a story of divine support and empowerment. Share these experiences with others as evidence of God's faithfulness and your own journey of growth. Similarly, when you experience moments of success or joy, use them to acknowledge and celebrate God's blessings. Express gratitude for the opportunities and achievements, and let others see how your faith has led to these moments. This not only strengthens your own faith, but also inspires and encourages those around you. Furthermore, transforming moments into testimonies involves being intentional about how you share your experiences. Be open and willing to speak about the ways in which God has worked in your life. Your stories of triumph, growth, and faith can serve as powerful encouragement for others facing their own challenges. By sharing your testimonies, you help others see the possibilities within their own lives and the divine potential that is available to them. As you prepare to start your day, remind yourself that every moment is an opportunity to create a testimony. Approach each experience with the intent to witness and reflect on God's greatness. Let your actions, responses, and words be a living testimony of divine support and guidance. By transforming moments into testimonies, you not only enrich your own journey, but also become a beacon of faith and inspiration for those around you. Setting the tone for your day is a foundational practice that can influence the course of everything you encounter. Before you begin your day, it's essential to establish a mindset and attitude that will guide your actions, interactions, and reactions. This intentional start can shape how you experience and handle the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. To set the tone effectively, start by centering yourself with positive and purposeful thoughts. The way you begin your morning can determine the direction of your entire day. Begin by envisioning a day filled with purpose, productivity, and positive interactions. Focus on the goals you want to achieve and the impact you wish to make. This mental preparation aligns your mindset with your objectives, setting a powerful precedent for how you will approach each task and challenge. Next, infuse your day with gratitude and optimism. Start by acknowledging the blessings and opportunities you have and express gratitude for them. This practice helps to cultivate a positive attitude and reinforces a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. When you focus on what you are thankful for, you attract more positivity and open yourself to the potential for growth and success. Additionally, setting the tone involves proactive planning and preparation. Take a moment to outline your priorities and set clear intentions for what you want to accomplish. Organize your tasks and responsibilities in a way that reflects your goals and values. By doing so, you create a roadmap for your day, helping you stay focused and motivated as you navigate through your responsibilities. Another key aspect of setting the tone is managing your energy and emotions. Approach the day with enthusiasm and resilience, regardless of any challenges that may arise. Cultivate a sense of inner strength and calm, which enables you to respond to situations with clarity and composure. Your emotional state can significantly influence your interactions and decisions, so maintaining a positive and balanced mindset is crucial. In addition, setting the tone involves cultivating a spirit of generosity and kindness. As you prepare for the day, commit to approaching others with respect, empathy, and support. Your positive energy and interactions not only enhance your own experience, but also contribute to a more harmonious and collaborative environment. As you prepare to start your day, take a moment to set a deliberate and positive tone. Visualize your success, express gratitude, plan your priorities, manage your emotions, and commit to kindness. By intentionally setting the tone, you create a foundation for a day of purpose, productivity, and positive impact. This approach will help you navigate the day's challenges with grace and confidence, and it will empower you to make the most of every opportunity that comes your way. As you step into your day, remember that each moment is a chance to shape your reality and live with purpose. By pausing and centering yourself, embracing your purpose, setting the tone, and reflecting God's kingdom, you lay a foundation for a day filled with intention and impact. Transforming challenges into opportunities, minding your thoughts, and speaking life into your experiences empower you to navigate your journey with confidence and grace. Embrace each day as a canvas where your actions and attitudes can paint a picture of success and fulfillment. Your mindset and intentions are powerful tools that can guide you through any obstacles and lead you toward your goals. Let your life be a testament to the divine potential within you, reflecting the values of love, resilience, and purpose that are central to your journey. As you move forward, carry with you the knowledge that you have the power to create positive change and make a meaningful impact. By living with intention and transforming each moment into a testimony, you honor the purpose and potential that God has placed within you. Seize the day with a heart full of purpose and let your actions and attitudes reflect the greatness you are destined to achieve. In life, we often encounter people who wear their pain like a badge of honor, seeking sympathy for the wounds they inflict on others. These individuals have mastered the art of playing the victim, using their suffering as a weapon to gain attention and manipulate those around them. It's essential to recognize this dynamic, for in our journey toward healing and growth, we must understand the power of our response. You see, when someone seeks sympathy for hurting you, they are attempting to turn the tables, to shift the narrative in a way that places the blame on you while they bask in the warmth of pity. They want you to feel guilty for their emotional turmoil, creating a cycle of manipulation that leaves you questioning your own worth and intentions. But let me remind you of a fundamental truth: your value is not defined by their perception. Understand that sympathy is often a shallow response. It doesn't address the root of the issue. When someone hurts you, it's not a reflection of your character, but rather a manifestation of their unresolved issues. They are projecting their pain onto you, and the sooner you realize this, the quicker you can break free from their hold. You are not responsible for their happiness, nor should you carry the burden of their emotional baggage. In this world, it's easy to fall into the trap of empathy, feeling sorry for those who hurt us. We might think that by extending our understanding, we can heal them. But remember, true healing begins when we prioritize our own well-being. Don't allow their cries for sympathy to drown out your voice or diminish your spirit. It's crucial to set boundaries that protect your heart and soul. Instead of giving in to their demands for sympathy, redirect that energy toward yourself. Invest in your healing journey. Surround yourself with those who uplift and support you. Seek the company of individuals who inspire you to rise above the noise, who encourage you to reclaim your power. By doing this, you not only strengthen your own spirit, but also create a ripple effect that inspires others to stand firm against manipulation. It's time to rise above the games of sympathy and victimhood. Stand tall in the face of adversity and refuse to let anyone dictate your emotional landscape. Your journey is not about appeasing others, but about fulfilling your purpose and walking in the light of your divine destiny. Remember, hurting people hurt people. Their actions stem from their pain, and they often don't know how to manage it constructively. But you have a choice. You can choose to be a beacon of light and love in a world that sometimes feels dark and heavy. Instead of seeking sympathy, let your strength be a source of inspiration for others. Show them that true power lies in vulnerability, in acknowledging your pain without using it as a weapon against others. So when you encounter those who want sympathy for their hurtful actions, remember this: their need for attention does not diminish your worth. You are a masterpiece uniquely designed with purpose and intention. Stand firm in your truth and do not allow their manipulation to dim your light. You have the power to rise above, to heal, and to inspire others in the process. Your journey is not defined by their narrative. It is yours to shape, and you are destined for greatness. Many people adopt a victim mentality, using it as a strategy to gain sympathy and manipulate others. They often find themselves in difficult situations, and instead of taking responsibility for their actions, they project their pain onto those around them. This behavior can manifest in various forms, such as emotional outbursts, guilt tripping, or playing the martyr. By positioning themselves as victims, they divert attention away from their harmful actions and create a narrative where they are the ones deserving of compassion. Your self-worth is an intrinsic quality that exists independent of external opinions or the actions of others. When someone projects their pain onto you, it is essential to understand that their feelings and judgments are reflections of their internal struggles, not a measure of your value. This understanding can be liberating. It allows you to detach from their negative perceptions and reinforces the idea that your worth is not contingent upon how others treat you or what they think of you. Often, those who hurt others do so out of their own unresolved issues, insecurities, and emotional turmoil. They may lash out or seek sympathy for their actions, hoping to shift the blame onto you. In these moments, it's crucial to remember that their behavior is not a reflection of your character, but rather a manifestation of their inability to cope with their pain. Recognizing this distinction can help you maintain a strong sense of self, even in the face of adversity. In a world that often encourages comparison, it's easy to let others' opinions shape our self-perception. However, cultivating a deep understanding of your worth requires introspection and self-acceptance. Embrace your uniqueness, acknowledge your strengths, and celebrate your accomplishments. Surround yourself with people who recognize and appreciate your value, reinforcing the belief that you are deserving of respect and love. When you firmly establish that your worth is inherent and not dependent on the validation of others, you empower yourself to rise above negativity. You become less susceptible to emotional manipulation and more resilient in the face of challenges. Ultimately, understanding that your self-worth is a non-negotiable aspect of your identity enables you to navigate relationships with clarity and confidence, ensuring that you no longer allow others' perceptions to dictate how you see yourself. Sympathy, while often well-intentioned, can be a superficial response that fails to address the underlying issues at play in any given situation. When someone seeks sympathy after hurting you, it can create a facade from the real problem, their actions, and the pain they have caused. Instead of focusing on healing and accountability, the attention shifts toward their emotional state, reinforcing their narrative of victimhood. This dynamic can create a cycle where the one inflicting pain becomes the center of attention, often leaving the person who has been hurt feeling neglected, invalidated, or guilty. The emotional toll on the victim can be profound as they grapple with their own feelings of hurt while also being asked to support the individual who caused that hurt. This not only creates confusion but can also foster resentment and bitterness over time. Additionally, sympathy can perpetuate a culture of avoidance, where individuals are less inclined to confront their issues or take responsibility for their actions. When they receive sympathy instead of accountability, it reinforces the notion that their behavior is acceptable or justifiable. This cycle can hinder personal growth and healing, both for the person inflicting the pain and for the one receiving it. It's important to recognize that true healing involves addressing the root causes of pain, fostering open communication, and taking responsibility for one's actions. Rather than offering sympathy that merely glosses over the issues, we should encourage honest dialogue about feelings and consequences. By shifting the focus from sympathy to accountability, we can create an environment where healing can truly begin and where individuals are empowered to confront their own pain rather than project it onto others. Understanding that you are not responsible for the happiness or emotional well-being of others is a crucial step in reclaiming your personal power. Many people fall into the trap of believing that they must accommodate others' feelings, especially those who hurt them. This belief often stems from a desire to maintain harmony or to avoid conflict. However, this mentality can lead to unhealthy dynamics where you end up sacrificing your own needs and well-being for someone else's comfort. When someone inflicts pain on you, their actions reflect their struggles, insecurities, and unresolved issues. They may attempt to manipulate you into feeling guilty or responsible for their emotional state, but it is vital to remember that their feelings are their own to manage. You cannot bear the weight of their happiness, nor should you be expected to. Their inability to handle their emotions is not a reflection of your worth or your capacity to love and support them. By recognizing this boundary, you empower yourself to prioritize your own mental and emotional health. It allows you to establish a clear distinction between your feelings and those of others, enabling you to maintain your sense of self even in difficult situations. This clarity fosters resilience and self-respect, giving you the strength to stand firm against manipulation. Moreover, releasing the notion of responsibility for others' happiness opens up space for healthier relationships. It encourages mutual respect and understanding where both parties can communicate their needs without fear of guilt or reprisal. This shift not only promotes healing for yourself, but also allows others to take ownership of their emotional journeys. Ultimately, it cultivates a more balanced and fulfilling connection that honors both individuals' well-being. Setting boundaries is a crucial act of self-care and protection, especially when dealing with individuals who seek to manipulate your emotions or take advantage of your empathy. When someone consistently hurts you and then seeks sympathy, it is easy to get caught up in their narrative, feeling compelled to provide comfort or reassurance. However, without clear boundaries, this dynamic can drain your emotional energy and leave you vulnerable to further manipulation. Boundaries act as a safeguard for your mental and emotional well-being. They allow you to define what behavior you are willing to accept and what crosses the line into disrespect or manipulation. By establishing these limits, you communicate that your time, energy, and feelings are valuable, and you refuse to allow others to trample on them. Boundaries are not about shutting people out, but about protecting your inner peace and ensuring that interactions with others are healthy and respectful. When someone tries to seek sympathy for hurting you, they may test your boundaries, attempting to guilt you into letting them back into your emotional space. This is where maintaining those boundaries becomes essential. By holding firm, you send a clear message that you will not tolerate being used as an emotional outlet for their unresolved issues. This not only protects you, but also forces the other person to confront their behavior, rather than relying on your empathy to soothe their discomfort. Additionally, setting boundaries helps you maintain clarity about your own needs and values. It prevents you from getting lost in someone else's emotional turmoil and keeps you grounded in your own truth. As you honor your boundaries, you also teach others how to treat you, fostering relationships built on mutual respect rather than manipulation. In doing so, you create a space where genuine healing and growth can take place both for you and for those around you. Redirecting your energy toward yourself is one of the most powerful steps you can take when dealing with people who seek sympathy after hurting you. Instead of pouring your emotional resources into trying to comfort or heal someone who has caused you pain, it's essential to focus that energy inward on your own healing and personal growth. This shift in focus allows you to reclaim control over your well-being and to nurture your emotional resilience. When someone drains your energy by constantly seeking sympathy, they often leave you feeling depleted and emotionally exhausted. By investing in yourself, you begin to rebuild the strength that has been worn down by these interactions. This involves taking time to reflect on your needs, goals, and emotional health, and it may also include engaging in practices that promote self-care and inner peace, such as meditation, journaling, or spending time with supportive people who uplift you. As you redirect your focus, you can also start surrounding yourself with individuals who add value to your life. People who appreciate your worth, encourage your growth, and offer genuine support are the kinds of relationships you want to cultivate. These relationships provide a contrast to those who seek sympathy while offering nothing in return. With this support system, you are able to strengthen your boundaries and focus on your own journey of healing and empowerment. Moreover, by investing in yourself, you build a foundation for future success. Instead of being bogged down by the emotional baggage of others, you open up space for new opportunities, insights, and personal achievements. This redirection of energy allows you to not only heal, but also to flourish, creating a life that reflects your true potential and purpose. It is in this place of self-investment that true transformation occurs as you grow stronger and more resilient in every aspect of your life. Rising above the games of sympathy and victimhood requires inner strength and a clear understanding of your purpose. When people seek sympathy for their harmful actions, they are attempting to draw you into their emotional chaos, hoping to distract you from the real issue, their behavior. By focusing on your purpose and your higher calling, you can break free from their manipulative tactics and refuse to engage in their emotional games. It's easy to get entangled in the back and forth of guilt, blame, and sympathy, but these distractions pull you away from the path you are meant to walk. Your journey is not about constantly responding to others' attempts to control the narrative. Instead, it's about aligning yourself with the greater purpose for which you were created. By focusing on that purpose, you gain clarity about what truly matters, allowing you to see beyond the surface level manipulation and emotional drama. This focus on purpose empowers you to act with intention rather than reacting to emotional provocation. When you are rooted in your purpose, you become less concerned with what others think of you or how they perceive your actions. You recognize that you have a greater responsibility to yourself, your destiny, and those you are meant to impact. This mindset allows you to rise above pettiness and manipulation, staying committed to your own growth and the fulfillment of your potential. Additionally, focusing on your purpose gives you the strength to walk away from situations or relationships that no longer serve your highest good. It allows you to make decisions that prioritize your well-being, even if others seek to guilt or manipulate you into staying. In this way, your purpose becomes a guiding light, helping you navigate through the noise and remain steadfast in the pursuit of your divine calling. True power lies in vulnerability, not in using pain as a weapon against others. When someone tries to manipulate you by seeking sympathy for their hurtful actions, they are often afraid of confronting their own vulnerability. Instead of acknowledging their pain and working through it, they use it as a tool to control the emotions of those around them. This approach, however, is rooted in fear and weakness, not in strength. Real strength comes from being able to confront and express one's pain without resorting to manipulation. Vulnerability requires courage because it involves opening up about your true feelings, your fears, and your struggles. It means being honest about your emotional wounds and taking responsibility for healing them rather than projecting them onto others. When you choose vulnerability over manipulation, you shift from a mindset of blame to one of self-awareness and accountability. This allows for genuine healing and personal growth, both for yourself and those around you. In contrast, using pain as a weapon only perpetuates a cycle of emotional damage. It keeps people trapped in their own suffering, unable to move forward or find real peace. Vulnerability, on the other hand, breaks this cycle by inviting empathy and understanding rather than guilt or manipulation. When you embrace vulnerability, you allow others to see your humanity, which creates the potential for deeper, more meaningful connections. Moreover, vulnerability is a powerful way to inspire others. By being open about your struggles, you show that it is possible to experience pain without letting it define or control you. This authenticity encourages others to do the same, fostering a culture of mutual support and growth. In this way, vulnerability becomes not just an act of personal strength, but a source of strength for those around you. Instead of using pain to hurt others, you can transform it into a tool for connection, healing, and empowerment. Being a source of light and love in a world that can often feel dark and heavy is a powerful choice. When you encounter people who use their pain as a means to manipulate others, it is easy to respond in kind with frustration, anger, or bitterness. However, choosing instead to be a beacon of positivity and compassion allows you to transcend the negativity and emotional games they may play. This decision to rise above does not mean ignoring the hurt you've experienced, but rather refusing to let it dictate your actions or cloud your spirit. When you embody light and love, you become an example for others, showing that there is a different way to respond to pain, one that does not involve inflicting it on others. You model strength through grace, demonstrating that resilience is not about hardening yourself to the world, but about remaining open-hearted in the face of adversity. This openness allows healing to take root, both for you and for those who witness your response. Choosing love over retaliation also breaks the cycle of harm that can often perpetuate itself in relationships. When someone hurts you and seeks sympathy, they may expect you to react negatively or to retaliate in some form. By choosing instead to respond with kindness, you disarm their attempts to pull you into their emotional chaos. This not only protects your peace, but also challenges them to reflect on their behavior, potentially leading to their own personal growth. Furthermore, being a source of light in difficult situations creates a ripple effect. Your actions have the power to inspire others to adopt a similar approach when faced with hurt or manipulation. People around you begin to see that they too can choose compassion, empathy, and strength in moments of emotional turmoil. By staying true to your values of love and positivity, you not only heal yourself, but also contribute to healing the larger emotional environment around you. Your journey is unique, and it should not be shaped or defined by the narratives of those who seek to manipulate or hurt you. Often, people who inflict emotional pain on others try to impose their version of events, aiming to control how you see yourself and how you interpret your experiences. They may twist situations to make themselves appear as the victims, hoping to pull you into their narrative of guilt, blame, and sympathy. But allowing them to dictate your story not only distorts your perspective, but also limits your potential to grow and move forward. Taking ownership of your journey means recognizing that no one else has the authority to define who you are or what you can become. It's about understanding that your path is shaped by your choices, your values, and your purpose, not by the opinions or manipulations of others. When you allow someone else's narrative to overshadow your own truth, you give them power over your destiny. Reclaiming that power involves stepping back, reassessing the situation, and making decisions based on what aligns with your growth and well-being. Embracing your unique journey also means accepting both the highs and lows along the way. The difficult experiences, including the pain caused by others, are part of your growth process. However, they do not define you. Instead of getting stuck in the pain or letting it limit you, it becomes an opportunity for learning, transformation, and self-discovery. Each challenge presents a chance to refine your understanding of yourself, your purpose, and your strength. Moreover, owning your journey allows you to walk away from toxic situations without feeling guilty or unsure. When you are grounded in your sense of self and your path, you become less susceptible to emotional manipulation and more confident in your ability to make decisions that honor your future. You create a life that is built on your truth, not on someone else's version of it. This mindset not only empowers you, but also ensures that your journey remains authentic, purposeful, and aligned with the greatness you are meant to achieve. In the end, recognizing the tactics of those who seek sympathy for hurting you is essential to protect your emotional well-being and growth. By understanding that their manipulation stems from unresolved pain, you empower yourself to rise above their games. Your worth is not tied to their actions, and your journey is your own to shape. Set boundaries, redirect your energy toward healing, and focus on your purpose. By choosing vulnerability over manipulation and love over retaliation, you not only protect your peace, but also inspire others to rise above negativity. Ultimately, embracing your unique path ensures that you live in alignment with your truth, free from the influence of those who seek to control your narrative.